Here we are, the first ever support local podcast.
How cool is that?
It is cool, and it's cool you get to be on it.
We'll see about that.
You know how we did it is I went in my phone. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it alphabetically, and your first name's Amber, so it was right there.
I love that.
I'm just kidding. There was way more to it.
Although that happens a lot with me, so it's okay.
Do you get butt dials all the time?
All the time. I'm usually the first. Yes.
I feel like I've victimized a lot of like people that started with A in my phone with my butt.
Yes. Yeah. I get a lot of that. It's fine. I don't mind. Sometimes you get good information. You never know.
Yeah. So this being the first episode, I'm going to let the viewers and listeners know that this is a podcast put together by Live the Dream Media. It's sponsored by them and it's produced by them. And the reason it's put together is we want to showcase local businesses here in the area. Give them the opportunity to talk about what they're doing outside of the normal platforms and stuff that exist, right? We're fortunate enough to be a platform that gets played on Spotify and Apple and you name it, and YouTube, and we actually get video on Spotify now, and we want to thank Spotify awesome. For that. So this is an opportunity for us to help the community grow. And I'm going to jump into some questions, and we're going to talk about your business and talk about my experiences with your business, which have all been phenomenal, by the way, and especially for my wife, and we'll get into that. But I want the listeners and the viewers to know who you are. So who are you?
I am Amber Powell, and I am the creator and owner of Wonder Wisps Creations. This started during the pandemic. December 2020 was our very first month in business. Mm-hmm. I really enjoy doing it. I'm mostly known for my cotton candy. Well, I think I'm known for my cotton candy. However, everyone knows me as the Cocoa Bomb Lady. So that's kind of a fun little thing.
The Cocoa Bomb Lady.
Yes.
Why are we known as the Cocoa Bomb Lady?
So I had this dumb idea. Maybe it wasn't dumb. I have 4 children, and we bought Cocoa Bombs in like 2018, 2019 from Walmart, and they were like $4 a piece, whatever. The kids will love it. We made them, and none of my kids drank it. They said it tasted like garbage. So I was like, okay, well, how hard? They were really bad. How hard can they be to make? So I decided, I've always made marshmallows like here and there. So I was like, I'll just make them. And everyone's like, wait, you make Cocoa Bombs? Can you make me some Cocoa Bombs? I need Cocoa Bombs. And so it just kind of took off from there. So I started out as a cotton candy only company and kind of branched out from there because I have a people pleasing problem and I like to make everyone happy.
But you find new products though,
yes,
right?
It's been really fun. And we've expanded a ton from where we started. So.
Yeah, the Cocoa Bomb's really cool. I had the opportunity to take some really cool photographs of them.
Yes, and taste them.
I was always kind of wondering, like, how'd you get everything in there? But they split in half, and I didn't. I'm not the brightest with that chocolate stuff.
It's like putting a ship in a bottle,
Yeah, yeah.
It's the wonder.
I imagine it's the same way, right? Like half and half. And
yes.
Then, yeah. I don't know though.
I don't know how to do that, but.
So it starts in the pandemic. What motivated you to do this in the pandemic? Was it free time? Was it you're looking for some more?
There was a couple different things, different avenues that kind of all came together all at once. I was doing LuLaRoe. I did LuLaRoe for 6 years. And during the pandemic, when you are live on Facebook and you get to know all these girls and you see them every day, I went live almost every day. Mm-hmm. You get to know everything about their lives. And I started to feel, for lack of a better word, yucky trying to sell these people clothes when I knew that they were losing their jobs or working from home. And I know these clothes make them feel beautiful and they're great clothes, but I wanted something that would lift their spirits. That's also the time I got into TikTok.
Oh, you have TikTok?
Yes, we have a TikTok.
I'll have to find that.
I don't have a lot on there because I'm very perfectionist. So what I have up there is like perfect and I'm happy with it. But I got into TikTok. I went down the TikTok rabbit hole and I found this lady in Ohio. And she makes her own cotton candy. And I've always been obsessed with cotton candy. And I was like, why can't I do that? How fun would it be to send a couple things in the packages, just a little extra something when they buy, or, Happy Meal. Who doesn't love Happy Meal? Just to try to boost the spirits of my girls in my group. And I put everything in my cart on Amazon. And I waited 2 weeks before I said anything to my husband, which he is one that once you say do it, he's like, why aren't you doing it? So I was like, okay, I have this really weird idea because it feels funny. Like, I want to go make cotton candy for a living, right? So I showed him. He's like, do it. he's like, what's stopping you? So I was like, okay. So I bought it really fast. I'm like, you can't take it back. So we bought the spinner. I trial and errored making my own sugar.
Yeah.
We're successful with it now. But trying to find the right sugars to use, the right extracts to use. I didn't want to use anything that was artificial. Nobody wants white cotton candy. We learned that really quickly. So food coloring does go on mine, but I use organic extracts, and I use pure cane sugar. So I get to make my own flavors, which makes it really fun. And we started with like 3 flavors, and now we have like 40 something ridiculous flavors. So the cotton candy was huge. And then we started getting into cocoa bombs around Christmas time. So I started the business about October was kind of when we were like still hobbyish.
Yeah.
I did a couple Halloween gifts, and we spun outside our house for Halloween. It was 2020. I figured if there's trick-or-treaters coming, they deserve something huge. So everybody kind of get the word that I was making it, and we kind of got a little line going. It was really fun.
That's awesome.
So it was really special to me because, you know, these poor kids, they didn't get to get a lot of things for 2020 for trick-or-treating, and I love being able to do that for them. And then we did our first fundraiser. That was my big thing with LuLaRoe. I love the fact that they always supported fundraising, and they would match us, and I still wanted to be able to incorporate that into our business, into my business. So we reached out to Kelland Elementary. They were our first fundraiser, and we did it for Valentine's Day. So I was like 2 months into this. I had no idea what I was doing. And we did cotton candy and cocoa bombs, and they did it in a way where the parents came and picked it up. Everyone was still, you know, not in person yet. So they were still virtual learning. Is that what we're doing? I don't remember anymore. It's all a blur. So it was really successful. I don't remember how many I think it was like 150 cocoa bombs and like 90 cotton candies. It was a lot.
Wow.
So that was our very first fundraiser, and we've moved on from that. We did one out in Vail, Cottonwood Elementary this year. They bought, how many was it? 300. My husband's in the background, so I'm trying to. Do you remember how many?
They sold 720.
There we go. So I don't even remember. We stayed up for like 36 hours straight trying to finish them. So cocoa, yeah.
Wow.
So cocoa bombs take a lot longer than we anticipated. So we went from working in my small little kitchen. I did get a little bit of help from Copper Creek Cookies, being able to exchange works with them and partner up with them. So that was really fun. And then we converted my carport garage into like Cocoa Bomb Central.
Nice.
So we have a couple friends come over and help us package, and stayed up with us till like 2:00 in the morning. I don't know why people are friends with me. Don't be friends with me. I'll recruit you.
It's the Cocoa Bombs.
It's the
trying to get their own.
I mean, they got to eat all the broken ones, so maybe that's why. There was a lot of broken ones. Maybe I should check my
Well, it's
friends.
good that some didn't walk away.
Right. So we were able to complete that. It was insane. 36 hours up. We know now how to manage our time a little bit better. Give us more than 5 days turnaround.
Yeah.
So that was quite the experience.
Yeah. It's all part of it, though, you know, learning and putting out fires and figuring out how to make things happen. Because there's often times where somebody will pass something by you, like, hey, what do you think about doing this? And you're like, I can do that. I got to figure out how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it.
I mean, I told it when she told me how many, I was like, totally got this.
Oh, yeah.
And then I cried for like 5 minutes. I have no idea I'm going to do this. Yeah, we did not give ourselves, 5 days would have been fine had like life not happened, but life decided to really happen that week. So, you know. Yeah.
But the knowledge you gain from it is so valuable.
Oh, but now we know exactly what to do for next time. And I feel like I can definitely take on more schools. So
yeah, it
was amazing. What to do, what not to do. Definitely, for sure.
So if you're involved in a school or know somebody at a school and they're looking for some cool treats, contact Amber over here, right? Let's get those going.
Yeah, they made some good money off of it. We have like a whole little tier scale, so that motivates them to want to sell more. Yeah. So we're definitely like revamping it to kind of make it more fun for the kids, but you know.
Yeah, that's really cool. So what were you doing before all of this?
So when I first moved to Tucson, I guess a few years after I moved to Tucson, I got a job at U of A. Worked there for 10 years.
Bear down.
I was at Bear down. I was at Department of accounting in Eller when LuLaRoe came across my life. And I was doing it part-time, not really loving the whole scene of U of A. It sounds great in theory. It's a great school. Don't bear down. But the academic side of it gets a little politicky, for lack of a better word. And it just wasn't my thing. It felt not right to me anymore. It wasn't my scene.
Yeah.
And I was there for 10 years. So I told my husband, I was like, I think I want to do LuLaRoe full time. He's like, go for it.
That's
and
awesome.
So I walked away from like a really good paying job to do LuLaRoe. And at first I was like, what am I doing? I am not one to be around a lot of people. I don't like a lot of attention. Going live on Facebook, that was a thing when LuLaRoe first started. And I was like, do what now? I can't just like hide behind a computer. So when I first went live, it was once a week. My best friend had to be there to watch the comments. My husband had to like take the kids out of the room, and I did not eat dinner. Like, could not eat. Number one, I was afraid something was going to be stuck in my teeth. But number two, my stomach was so upset, like there was no time for it. So I was a very introverted person. I know you don't know that now. Like I know you know me now. But between my husband, who is very boisterous and very friendly, I was definitely the quiet one in the group. So LuLaRoe pushed me out of my box that he's been trying. So between him and LuLaRoe, got me really actively wanting to be around people, being able to network a little bit better, to be able to talk about myself and not feel, I always felt so conceited when you're like, oh, this is what I do for a living. Huh? You know, it felt unnatural to me, and I hated it. I didn't like the attention. I don't like people wondering or saying things about me. It's a whole thing. Being an introvert, I'm like a extroverted introvert now.
You know, I had
my moments.
a good friend that we all kind of know. His name's Aaron. He calls it being, when you're like engaging with people and having to do it, he calls it a situational extrovert.
I love that. That's me. That's me.
That's what he labeled it is.
Yeah. So I did LuLaRoe for 6 years, got a team. It was amazing just being able to mentor these girls. It definitely put me into the leadership role that I've always wanted, but just never had the guts to do it. I love helping others. And I always like to do it in the background because I never wanted attention for it. I still don't like the attention for it, but if they want to do that, that's fine. That's on them. So I've learned to kind of adapt to the situations. And I was loving LuLaRoe. I loved my team. I loved what they stood for. But with the pandemic, it just got really scary. And I was starting to worry more about the money than the people. And I realized that's not me. I don't want to sit here and be like, you need to buy this because I have to pay my mortgage. It's not their business what I need to pay, and it's not their problem, right? So I wanted something that at least if they did, I wanted to reward them or just give them little gifts, and that's how the cotton candy thing came about. So I went from like the corporate world to like someone helping me figure out how to be a business owner to now being a business owner, which is not all rainbows and butterflies, by the way. But
no.
I do enjoy it. However, there are days.
Yeah. There's a lot of personal growth that happened, though.
Oh, my gosh. Yes. Very much so. It definitely needed to happen to get to where I'm at now.
What were your biggest influences on that?
My husband.
Oh.
For sure. Definitely proving people wrong. You know, I had a really good friend that was like, you're never going to make it. And I was like, oh,
we
really?
all got those friends, right?
I'm very competitive.
Great
yes.
people. Yeah.
But you know what? They're the ones that you need. And it was never in a hateful way. It was more like, I'm very competitive, and I think she knew that.
Watch me.
Right?
Yeah.
So she definitely was like, okay, that's what I needed to see. So yeah, definitely my husband, the support of my mom when she comes out. I mean, I love her. She tries to help, but I just mostly let her. I didn't realize how perfectionist I was until I started this business.
Yeah.
But she's always, when she comes out, she's always like willing to watch the kids so we can go do events, and she's just been amazing. So I just have a really good support group. And of course, everyone that loves to eat them, that just gives me more gumph to want to do more. So
it's a lot of good influences. You know, that one with the chip on the shoulder is just, that is one of the best. You got to find something to motivate you, right? You got to find something to go after. Like there was an article I read not too long ago about, we're in a media company, and there was a media company up on the East Coast, and they had their CEO had realized that they became very complacent with how things were. Like, oh, everything's good. We don't really need to work that hard.
Right.
And he didn't like it. So what he did is he made this whole plan where he made up this whole other media company that really didn't exist, but made like fake articles and data and information that he started sharing with his company, showing that they were going to be in trouble because this other company was here now. And it was like, so it lit that fire back up and gave him that chip. Like, well, we got something to prove now. We're going to go and do that. Having those people say we can't do things. I'm with you. I love it.
Well, I love it too. And it's like, even with the way that Apple came about, like Steve Jobs, he's just like, sure, I've got this. He didn't have it. You just kind of have to fake it till you make it. It's a really true, like, honest,
Yeah, for sure. So the next part of this is any particular failures or struggles or triumphs you want to talk about. It doesn't have to be either
struggles.
Or.
Trying to figure out, trying to figure out what my niche was going to be. And I was very, very adamant about just sticking to cotton candy and not moving on to that, out of that. But to be able to move on and be able to also include other treats so that you kind of get a good variety of people. Yeah. Not everybody wants cotton candy. So we kind of moved into chocolates. And then I was doing my husband's markets in the 55 plus communities. They're not cotton candy and chocolate people. Found that out very quickly. So I was like, what kind of niche could I get into?
Yeah,
so
this will be interesting. What is it?
Could still do his thing. So the gluten-free and dairy-free products came about.
So I am rolling with the old folk community.
Yes, you are. No,
because I love those, and so does my wife.
What came up with that too was I think I made something. My girlfriend, between her and her husband, have like every allergen issue in the whole world, and so we would go over there like once a week and have dinner. And she was like, "Bring dessert." Well, I started making those vegan chocolate balls that you've had, the little cookie dough ones.
Yeah.
Well, you can't bring those every single time you have dinner. Like, then everyone's like, "Oh, there's the cookie dough balls again." Like, they're good, but like, so I was like, "What else can I make?" So. She's my guinea pig. So are you and your wife.
Oh, yes.
So, but I started making different things. She's like, "Ooh, can you make this? Can you make that?" So it kind of I was like, this is something I could get into because yes, we already have bakers at the markets, but they don't do keto or gluten-free. So I'm trying a little bit of keto.
There's just not a lot of those, period, here.
There's just really not.
So
yeah.
Thanks for doing that.
Thanks. So I'm more Northwest side for people. I know that there's, the Gourmet Girls, and then there's Zell's on the east side of town. So there's lots of other bakeries. I just do it for fun, as a side, just to kind of make a little bit of money during the week when we don't have other events. But my biggest triumph, I definitely would say, was getting those cocoa bombs done for Cottonwood. That was the biggest accomplishment. And I was, when I there was a lot of tears. Let me tell you, owning a business, if you don't cry at least once a week, you're not doing it right.
There's a different kind of stress, man. That
I mean, I'm very anxiety filled. And I work pretty good under pressure, but not when I'm working against the clock. Not that tight. And my husband was like, "You got this. We could totally do this." I'm like, "Are we almost done?" He's like, "Yes, we were not. We had like 200 more to do."
You need a guy like him around.
He lied to me a lot. I loved it. He had to. That was the only way we were going to get through it. There's a lot of lies to be told, but that's what makes a good marriage. I'm just kidding. But they were good lies. They were sweet lies. No, we totally got this. You just have a few more. Just bag a few more. We're almost there. We're totally going to make time. He didn't think we were going to make time, but he kept telling me we were going to make time. You can't have two pessimistic people in the same room. So I think that was my biggest triumph. Just trial and error, trying to figure out, especially with the gluten-free baking, what flour to use. By the way, don't measure it by cups, measure it by weight. That's your note for the day.
Boom, write it down. Educational moment of the podcast.
But because I was realizing when I was measuring it out. I was like, this tastes more doughy than the last batch. Why? Just weigh it. Yes, it's a pain in the butt. That's the magic spot. So just trying to figure out how to balance everything. It's been quite the trial, and I love innovating, and I think that's why I just couldn't stick with cotton candy. It's
I'm
my
glad you didn't. Yeah, 'cause
ADD brain.
Love the cotton candy, but I love the other stuff too. I mean,
It's an ADD brain business owner. They're great.
yeah. Well, I think entrepreneurs are just like that, though.
I
Like
think so.
you're just naturally trying to come up with other ways, another revenue stream, another product.
I'm super creative. I love being creative. My daughter's the same way. She likes to save everything to make something out of it, and
Yeah.
I'm really trying to just be okay with that. But yeah, just you have to innovate. And I think with the pandemic too, like a lot of us learned that it's not always exactly how it was before. You can tell who the good business owners were.
Yeah.
That were able to adapt and not like, this is my way and no way else. You just had to kind of go with the flow, and things changed, and
You hit the nail on the head with that.
yeah.
Yeah, you saw, in this complex, we've talked on some of the other podcasts.
Yeah.
A lot of the businesses disappeared because they did not want to adjust to.
And it did. It took me a while.
Doing
Like,
things
I
differently.
would do my little cocoa bombs in a box, and they're like, this is pandemic. What do we do? I'm like, I'll bag them all individually. Like, that way no germs get on them. And
Yeah.
even with our samples, there's another cotton candy company in town, and they just break it off and hand it to them as samples with gloves, obviously. Like, very, it's still health code. I'm not saying that, but we put ours in little cups, and a lot of people appreciate it because they're like, it doesn't get exposed to very much of the elements. It's a lot cleaner way. Yes, it's more wasteful, and I get that. It's plastic. We shame plastic, but people appreciate that, and then they could save it for later.
Yeah.
So with a lot
great.
of our events and stuff, they really do appreciate that.
I love it because I ate some of the cotton candy, just sneak into the pantry, eat it, and then put it back. Come back 5 minutes later, do it again, put it back, and then next day do it. So it's great. I like how you package it and stuff. Hey, can you hand me that, Brandon? Can you hand me the treat you guys brought me that's on the desk right there?
It's not in its pretty packaging. I brought it for him.
Yeah, I have them bring it a certain way. So when somebody's like, "Hey, you got that?" I'm like, I do. I know somebody that has these. So this is the what is this?
Pumpkin spice oatmeal cream pies.
Pumpkin spice oatmeal cream pies right here.
Vegan,
This is
gluten-free.
vegan, gluten-free.
Yes.
So
But not taste-free.
it is so good, and of course it covers the vegan thing and gluten-free. So
Everyone always asks me, does it have sugar in it? That's why it tastes good.
yeah, it's so great.
Sorry,
so,
not sorry.
so, yeah.
I'm the sugar queen. I'm the cotton candy person. Of course, everything I make has sugar in it.
Yeah, and the cotton candy's phenomenal too. Like you have like these really cool. What's like a champagne?
We have a strawberry champagne.
Strawberry champagne. Yeah,
We
I
do
had that one. I
orange
was like,
bourbon.
it tasted like it. I was like,
I know, that's my favorite part. Like when we do a lot of Ren fairs and pirate fests, that's kind of our genre. We're doing a steampunk festival here in Tucson. I'm so
what?
excited about
What?
that. Steampunk.
okay.
Yeah, so we both are dressing up. It's gonna be great.
Oh, I'm excited.
But it's the first part of March. But we love the different flavors and stuff, and so people are like, oh, I don't like cotton candy, because Brandon always he likes to be boisterous and say, you want to taste the best cotton candy you ever had? I have free samples to try it. We always have samples, and people are like, okay, I'll try the blue one. They're like, wait, it actually tastes like blueberry. So people don't realize that cotton candy is supposed to have a flavor. So because we make our own sugars, most cotton candy that you get at a carnival has flossine in it, which is a puffing agent, and it keeps it so that they can keep it in those bags for as long as they need to.
Oh,
Mine
okay.
shrinks. does not taste different, but it shrinks because I don't use that, because it gives that metallic-y weird. My husband calls it the Cheez-It effect. I think it's a terrible analogy, but he uses it all the time. Where you just get that metallic-y taste, so you just want to keep eating it to try to get rid of the flavor, because the first part tastes good, but then the aftertaste is not great. So mine doesn't have that. Yeah, I hate the analogy. We got to come up with something else, because I love Cheez-It, so it really offends me.
Yeah.
That's my millennial moment. Anyways, so we just use sugar flavoring, and people are like, oh my gosh, this actually tastes like blueberry. They're like, okay, now I have to try other ones. Our newest one is butterbeer, inspired by Harry Potter.
Butterbeer.
Yes. So I'm really excited. One of the girls that we met at Ren Fair is having her 21st birthday, and she's a Harry Potter, whatever you want to call him. I don't like to say fanatic. There we go. I was like, I don't want to call her a freak. She was really sweet. So we exchanged, because trade is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But she's doing butterbeer for hers party, and we're doing a sorting hat. So we actually have these things called sparkle bombs.
Mm-hmm.
They're a piece of cotton candy with edible glitter in it. It's tasteless, textureless, FDA. It's just mica. It's not going to kill you. So we put the different colors of the sorting hats in it, and then you put it in the bottom of a glass. You pour champagne or Sprite over it, and then it reveals what house you're in. So we have like the green, the yellow, the red, the blue.
Yeah.
The blue. I know. My daughter and my husband's reading my daughter the Harry Potter books, so she's like all about it.
Oh, that's
all
awesome.
about it.
That's so great.
So I'm really excited to do that. We do a lot of bachelorette parties with the rose gold. It's really fun for the girls to do. My biggest thing is I'm trying to do a wedding. I would love to spin at a wedding. It's really fun to spin on site. That is something that I do. It just has to be a private event.
Yeah.
But that would be amazing. And I can do all kinds of different flavors. You could do a signature flavor. I've done it for a quinceañera, and we did basically like a taste testing like you would do for cake. And I give you the laundry list of flavors we have.
Yeah.
Or you tell me this is actually my favorite thing in the world,
That's so awesome.
like root beer.
So flexible.
Yes.
So flexible to do so
And
much
it makes
stuff.
it different, and it makes it, I can dye it any color that you want. So it could be the color of your wedding or the color of your party. So it makes it really fun, and it makes it very unique because it's not
I would
something
say
that
so. Yeah.
people do. So that's really fun.
Sure.
I'm waiting for a wedding, but
You'll get
I've done
You'll
a
get it.
quinceañera and an 8-year-old birthday and a baby shower.
Well,
The baby shower was really fun.
You'll get it. You'll get out in front of the right people, and you'll see it.
Exactly.
So this is the part of the podcast where we're going to highlight some of our sponsors for this program. First one being Copper Creek Cookies. Make sure you get one of their famous cinnamon rolls.
Oh, they're so
They
good.
are the #1 cinnamon roll in the state of Arizona. We haven't checked on the nation for them, but as far
I'm
as
sure they
Arizona,
are.
And Blueprint Home Services, thank you for sponsoring roofing and solar combined. Make sure you reach out to Blueprint Home Services for your roofing and solar needs. And so we'll keep going here. The next part of this podcast is advice to listeners
Ooh.
who may be pursuing entrepreneurship or starting a business. What's a good nugget you got for them?
I would say if you're passionate about it, the people will come. Don't give up. The first few months, you're going to feel like you want to, and you're going to feel like it's not successful. Things take time.
Yeah.
And you have to give grace to yourself.
Yeah, that's
Big
good.
time.
Yeah, that's good. The overnight success story is few and far between. I mean,
Social media is mean.
yeah, social media, there's a lot of people on there that make you think that it can happen, which I'm not saying it can't.
Yeah.
You could have this extraordinary circumstance where
Right.
you just become one of the luckiest people in there, but you're not always going to have luck on your side. So,
Exactly.
you got to work for it.
It's not one of those Instagram reels where it says tap to clean and it's clean. You actually have to do the work behind it.
So what's a common myth about being a business owner?
A common myth. Oh, you have so much free time because you get to work for yourself.
Oh, thank you for hitting that.
That's my biggest one.
Yeah.
It's so funny because my husband and I were just talking about this. When I had a full-time job and 4 children, I felt like I had more time on my hands than now. It's almost like a retired person in that sense. You're still, you find so many things that you got to get done.
Yeah, well, things pop up, too,
Yeah.
that you weren't. And
Or
some
last
people
minute
wanna,
orders.
Yeah, people want something from you, and
Yep.
you're like, well, I gotta
Yep.
be reliable. I can't
Exactly.
just be like, I'm not, sorry, I can't help you. And then they're going to remember that and be like, oh, well, they don't really care.
And the other myth I think is a big one is people just don't realize the time behind it.
No, they don't.
They just think it's, oh, well, I need, I just had someone say, I need 10 cocoa bombs for Saturday. It's like, cool, I have an event starting Friday. You're asking me on Thursday. I can't. I would love to
Sweet.
say yes.
Yeah, great.
And part of
thanks.
me is like, babe, do you think we can do this? And he's like, oh, Amber, just tell her no. Sometimes you just can't say yes. But, they think that we just have this back stock, especially with baking. I know that.
Some
other people
warehouse
feel that. Yeah.
with a bunch of it waiting to come off
Yeah.
the shelf.
Like
Yeah.
it's just going to be fresh and ready for you.
Yeah, that's great.
I have no Keebler elves in my shop. That's my
good.
problem.
Yeah.
So,
Can you trust them really though?
nothing's being baked while I sleep.
So how do people connect with you?
Social media, Wonder Wisps AZ. I'm on Instagram and Facebook on there. Other than that.
And we'll throw that in the episode information for people to go to.
Perfect.
To find you. Also, if you're viewing and listening, make sure you join the local Tucson group and the local Marana group. You will be able to see some photos of their products that we'll put out there in the group, and on Live the Dream Media's page, we'll put some photos out so you can see what the products look like the week of the podcast coming out.
Perfect.
Amber, it's been a pleasure having you here on the podcast with us.
Fun.
Thank you for sharing your business and your products with us, and thank you for the amazing treats that I just can't get enough.
You have to brag them.
Well, I'm gonna brag. I'm kind of addicted to them, so I'm not.
I was like, it's been a couple weeks. He's probably gonna want something.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is great. So I gotta try to eat it before the wife sees it though. I can't take it home. She'll snatch that right out of my hand. So. Anyways, if you're interested in being on the Support Local podcast, just reach out to Live the Dream Media. You can reach them at ltdmedia.net and shoot us an email, or you can look for the interest form in the local Tucson group. We thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. And if you want to be a sponsor, you're welcome to hit us up as well. Take care.
Thank you.